Hello there. I'm back. Apparently, my last live wasn't working very well. I don't know why the sound wasn't working, but okay, here we are again. And what I wanted to talk about again was Malik Yoba and him coming out with that statement that he likes all women, including transgendered women, is an indication, and the reaction that it's gotten from some people is an indication that we need to unlearn some things that we think we know. Okay. I talked about unlearning in my last video, not my last, the one before that. So if you haven't seen it, go back and see it. But it's really important because when I talked about unlearning, I talked about being able to go back and ask why we believe and we think some of the ways that we believe and think. Okay. Now, people are asking, does this mean Malik is gay or something? And I don't know. I have no idea what this man is or is not. Okay. And that's not what this video is about. It's about the reaction, so what I want to say is that, what I want to say is that when we look at the why is there this type of reaction anyway, especially the negative stuff, right? Like, why is this a topic? First of all, I know he's a celebrity. The assumption, I guess, is that he's heterosexual. I guess given the movies that he's been in and the roles he's had and stuff like that, I guess that's the assumption. So it's news. Okay, it's news, which is fine. But why the reaction, especially the negative stuff? Well, I can tell you what I see and what I think is that in one YouTuber's video, he was talking about how, we have to love each other and God made us all the same and all of that stuff, which, in some people's minds, that's true. But with that, and I used to be very religious, so I know in my experience, the way I grew up and the things I heard and know from that perspective is that the human body is bad. Okay. It's just evil. It's an evil thing. Okay. Depending on your religion and all that, you're born in sin, and you're not even worthy to be breathing right now, according to some very mainstream religions. Okay. Your whole body is bad. The whole thing, from the soul to the flesh, especially the flesh, especially. Okay. And given that, some parts of your body are even worse than other parts. Okay. So if you let's just look at it practically. Okay. My fingers are bad, according to this belief. Okay. It's part of my body. It's flesh, right? But there's something worse than my fingers on my body, especially because I'm a woman. Okay. That's my vaginal area. I'm just telling you. Okay. The sexual parts of your bodies, the whole body's bad, but the sexual aspects are the worst parts that there could be. The worst. Okay. According to some religious beliefs and the way people navigate in the world. That's why we make such a big deal about sex, because of the why behind it. Okay. When you look at why people fly off the handle when it comes to things other than heterosexual, and even in heterosexual sex before marriage and all that stuff, all of these rules and regulations and standards and practices and policies and procedures and, articles of confederation, all this stuff regarding what you can and cannot do with your body and who you can and cannot be with, all of these things go back to the why, that the body is terrible. And there's a bunch of stuff you need to do to be not as terrible as you can be. All right. So much of the reaction stems from religion, tradition, culture, all that stuff. Okay. That stuff is made up. They're rules. And I say it's made up because the rules differ. You can go to somebody else's rules about the body, cultural, traditional, religious, all that stuff about the body, and they'll have different rules. Okay. All I'm saying is when it comes to this man and what he has just said, you know, why is there such a reaction about it? Now I don't know what he prefers or whatever. You know, he said what he said, okay? There's no judgment here that it was a good or bad thing to say or whatever. I don't know. But this is a good opportunity, what I'm saying, because I'm in learning. That's what I do. Okay. What I'm saying is that look at why this reaction is the way it is. Okay. And is that something we want to keep working from? You know, do we want to keep working from the idea that the body itself, like the second you come out of yoga, is bad, terrible, evil, all that? Okay. Because with, like I said in the video, right? Every practice has a theory. Everything you do and think has something behind it. Some kind of belief or assumption or opinion or theory or whatever behind it, which is now compelling you to think and act in a certain way. That's all I'm saying. Now, another thing that I want to say before I get off, because I'm not going to be here long. My boyfriend's waiting on me. At least he better be. Is that we are part of nature, okay? But I mean, human beings, we're part of nature, right? We're just another kind of animal. That's all. We're another kind of animal. That's part of this earth, okay? Now, like other animals on this planet, we are on a spectrum. Like the animal kingdom, if you look it up, and I looked at something, I said I was going to post this somewhere in this video. I'm gonna have to go back and do that, but I read it. It was a Yale paper, and it's not just Yale. You could see, if you watch Animal Kingdom, you could see this on there too, okay? There is homosexuality in various species of animals. All animals aren't just male and female. That's not, some animals even changed their sexuality in certain circumstances. There's this fish, I don't know what the name of the fish is, but on one of these animal shows, when the male population ain't big enough, she becomes a male. I'm telling you, that's how it works. We are part of the animal kingdom, y'all. Come on, let's kind of, and that's why I said in this title that we have to unlearn some stuff. So me and my boyfriend were talking about this today. We're educated in a certain way, okay? We're educated in a certain way. Education is not the same as learning, okay? Education comes from an authority figure. I know much of what I know about the world because of education, because somebody told me, all right? And because that authority figure, if it was my mom, my teacher, my big sister, my minister, my grandmother, somebody prominent in my community, a police officer, the president of the United States, whatever, some authority figure told me something. And I said, okay. Don't question it, don't nothing. Okay? Because it's coming from an authority. And of course, authorities are what? They're always right. Now, we know that ain't true. We know now as adults that's not true. But what we fail to do is go back and question some of the stuff authority figures told us, you know, which is what I talked about in my unlearning video. I'm not going to get back into that right now. But what I'm saying is this is a good opportunity for us to go back and ask ourselves, okay, this is what I learned about sex. This is what I learned about sexuality. This is what I learned about what men and women should be doing. This was how actually, this is how I was educated about these things. Now, is that true? Let me go ask some questions to see. So there's an article about how nature, animals change their sex, and some of them deal in same-sex relationships, okay, for various reasons. There's that. Plus, there are people, now we're talking about transgendered people and you know, individuals being attracted to transgendered people, which is, you know, it is what it is. But did you also know that people, human beings, are also attracted to other kinds of things? Now, we call these people crazy. Some of us, I don't. I just, you know, some of us do. But Let me read you two of them, two groups, just two. There's more than that, but just two. Objectophilia. Have y'all heard of objectophilia? There was a really, really good show on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on there, but it's people with objectum sexuality. These are people who are attracted to things. People on this show, I'm telling you, it's probably on YouTube too, if you look up objectophilia. Attracted to, now when I say attracted, I'm talking about, doing what they can to have sex with these things, with cars. This one lady was attracted to a fence. This one lady got married to a Ferris wheel. And they're just talking, I'm telling you, they're talking about how they have real feelings for these objects. I was fascinated, absolutely fascinated by, but that's, humans, like, that's what it is. Zoophilia. I'm sure y'all have heard of. Yeah. So some people say they're mental, Stiggs girl. Some people do, but all I'm saying is we are attracted to, like, humans are not as rational and logical as we think we are. Like we're just not. Okay. We want to be the king on the mountain, right? The smartest animal and all that stuff. But I don't know. You also have zoophilia. That's another documentary. I think it's still on YouTube. That's where I saw it. It was on YouTube. It's a documentary about people who are attracted to animals. It's not bestiality. Okay, that's a different thing. Zoophilia is like, there was this one man on the show. He married his donkey. Listen, I'm trying not to laugh, but it's when you look at the mainstream, okay, what the norm is, the norm we think is male and female. And I say we think because I'm sure a lot of people in the closet still, and one thing that Dave Chappelle said in his show, he's in Atlanta. He said, I'm not going to say this because I know there are a lot of men in here with their wives who are attracted to other men, something like that, he said, right? But what he was saying was, people are one way in public. That's why I say I think that's the norm. I think that heterosexuality is the norm. It may be that so many people just aren't saying what they really feel, that heterosexuality really is not the norm. Okay. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. But this thing with Malik, though, this man, he is the way he is, and he's not hurting not that I see anyway, that he's hurting anybody with how he feels about another person, And I was telling my boyfriend today, I'm like, some of these ladies, you wouldn't even know that they were born, with different genitalia, or male genitalia. You wouldn't know that. So I don't know. But again, if we just look at the why, like why, if you feel some type of way about it, or if you feel threatened or, oh, he fooled us. I thought he was why do you feel that way? Like what, first of all, what's that got to do with you and what you're doing in your bedroom? Okay. Why would that feeling even come up? And I think it has a lot to do with the way we're educated about sex and what sex is and who it should be with, who it shouldn't be with, what it says about you when you're not with the opposite sex. And, it's got a lot to do with that, right? Which is a really, really, again, a really good place for us to go and question how we were educated about sex. Okay. I know how I was educated. All right. And many of you were probably educated the same way, but or not educated, because you got people who are like, don't even talk about it. If you don't talk about it, they won't do it. Right. Which is crazy, which is nuts. Okay. Which is absolutely not true. Now that's nuts. That's mental. Okay. If you don't talk about it, they won't do it. All right. Okay. So that's all I wanted to say about that. Thank you all for joining me. And I got to run to Best Buy to get a computer, but I'll probably be back on a little later. Okay. See you guys. Bye.